I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
Gervonta, Tank, Davis kicked off his return to training camp with full intensity, making it clear he's been working out long before camp even began. After wrapping up a tough strength session, he reviewed clips from his first fight with Lamont Roach. Tank concentrated on improving his footwork and movement, spending extra time shadowboxing and bringing in slightly larger sparring partners than before.
You gonna feel all this we gotta do? Look, hey Tank, we're gonna go 35 for 12.
Many years ago, legendary champion Marvin Hagler remarked that it's hard to get up and do road work at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk pajamas.
There's been a big change in Tank's camp. His main coach, Calvin Ford, is back at the top, now joined by Kenny Ellis and Barry Hunter. Recent training clips showed Tank moving at blazing speed, so fast it shocked fans. As every boxer knows, the punch that hurts is the one you don't see coming. Even Terrence Crawford had something to say. Though he didn't mention names, his post on X seemed to downplay Tank's efforts, but most fans knew exactly who he meant.
If you can punch, you can punch.
Okay.
You know, it may not have the same effect that it did on a smaller guy, on a bigger guy, but if you sharp, you sharp.
Right.
Hope Roach is ready because this guy's going all in, one fan commented, and they weren't wrong. Gervonta was filmed smashing the heavy bag and throwing rapid combos while his coach worked the mitts. He did some intense shadowboxing, then hit the pads with precision. What stood out the most? His unreal speed. Mix that with his knockout strength, and he's a serious threat. If this keeps up, Davis might overwhelm Roach in the rematch before he even sees the punches coming. Inside the camp, the message is loud and clear. Roach only made it through the first fight because he could see what was coming. If not, he'd be just another name on the list of 28 opponents Tank has knocked out. The latest training footage left fans speechless and quickly spread across social media, earning thousands of likes and reactions. Boxers, world champs, and legends all jumped in to give their thoughts on what they saw.
Ready, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power, 4, power, 3, 2, one more. Good, keep the head, roll under the bed. Good job.
After finishing a brutal strength workout, the unbeaten champ went straight into mitt drills and bag work to test his power. He then hopped into the ring for sparring with a mystery partner before taking a short breather. One clip shared on X showed Tank going nonstop on the heavy bag for a full hour, no breaks. That's the kind of tough training that sets elite fighters apart from the rest of the pack. Tank's reputation as a champion is solid, but what he's showing now deserves real respect. His power, athletic ability, and focus are all dialed in. And at this point, Lamont Roach might be in for a rough night. Roach has talked a big game leading up to the fight, but it's the ring that tells the truth, and facing the most dangerous lightweight out, there is no walk in the park. Tank also showed off his lean, ripped physique, proof that he's not even thinking about slowing down.
There you go. 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 Take deep breaths when you want. Take deep breaths. Right. Take deep breaths.
That's what fans are seeing, too. Many think Davis has no plans to retire anytime soon based on how fired up and sharp he looks. One person wrote, "You really think he's retiring? Look how focused he is." Another said, "Wasn't he supposed to be out of shape? He's looking like a beast. Roach better be ready." More comments poured in from people who believe he's far from done. One even posted, "He's got to fight Loma and Keyshawn Davis. He can't retire looking like this."
30 seconds. Work. 30 seconds.
Still, not everyone's buying into the hype. One fan questioned it all, getting in shape just to beat someone who never had a shot? What's the point? People are already wondering who Tank might fight after Roach, especially if it's another easy win. "I've been grinding," Roach said about the match. If he thinks he's walking away from boxing, I'll be the one to help show him the door.
Yeah, but it's like people selling that stuff. Like, you know, even the picture where everybody was in the room, that shit look like some devil shit. Facts though, some coke, right? Yeah, that shit like some devil shit. Like they sold that soul.
Yeah, you go with that.
That was crazy. And you seen how the guy he looked at the scorecard. Yeah, he looked at
"I want to prove everyone wrong," Roach said. "Right now, people are really counting me out. So I've made it my goal to surprise them all." Roach sees this fight as not just the biggest of the year, but also the start of his rise toward becoming a boxing legend. After this bout, he plans to challenge another champion, either in the 130 or 135-pound division. "I want to prove I'm the top dog." According to Boxing News 24, Gervonta Davis is already deep into a strong training camp and is fully ready for the big showdown with Lamont Roach. Promoter Leonard Ellerby told the Laboratory with Plauz that this marks the beginning of what could be Davis's.
Like, if you got a talent, the money gonna come for sure. So I wouldn't even tell them to focus on the money. Like, if your talent there, don't even worry about the money. That's all you gotta worry about, the grind.
Trainer Greg Hackett called the upcoming fight between Davis and Roach a solid matchup, even if Roach isn't a familiar face to fans who don't closely follow boxing. Hackett pointed out that Roach lacks the flair of fighters like Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney, mostly because he's quieter and more humble. If you know Lamont or understand boxing, then you know this is a legit fight, Hackett told YSM Sports Media. What's missing is that flash. Lamont's cool and respectful. Even if he tried to intimidate you, it wouldn't work. He's light-skinned, got green eyes. He just doesn't look threatening. Tank's the opposite. Tattoos, wild look, braided hair, and he's always making a statement. Tank brings the flash.
It's boxing. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. It's boxing.
11. Exactly. Lamont's chill, easygoing, but he's skilled, and he's a champion, so give him the credit he's earned, Hackett went on. The thing is, people only get excited when there's a lot of hype. Everyone's chasing the big names and drama. But truth is, this is a real fight. Lamont knows Tank. Tank knows Lamont. It's a local clash, and for fans in the DMV area, this is a big deal. Both of them have shared the ring with Hector Garcia in the past.
Boxing is what it is. I mean, you just don't ever know what can happen in the sport.
Right.
I mean, we take losses every day, even though I may have had my hand raised every time I went out there and performed, but
The reason I brought that up is to show you the level these two guys are on. Tank faced Hector Garcia about 1.5 years ago. That puts Roach in that same top-tier category. So, how can people say Tank's taking the easy route? Roach is a champ, and these two have history. What they don't have is the hype of Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney. They've been in the spotlight longer. But that doesn't make this any less of a real fight. One of the most talked about fights coming up this year is the August 16th rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach for Davis's WBA lightweight title. Their first meeting ended in a draw on March 1st, and it was full of controversy, especially in round 9, when Davis dropped to one knee, but the ref...
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaning with right. He took a knee. He took a knee! What is he doing?
He forgot his... It's got to be a knockdown.
What in the world is happening?
Took a knee, he's got to count.
I understand. If you take a knee like that looks like a knockdown. All right?
If that moment had been scored correctly, Roach would have won that round 10-8 and possibly the entire fight. Tensions between the two were already high before their March matchup, and things have only gotten worse. On June 14th, their feud hit social media. When Roach wondered why so many people hate him, Davis snapped back, saying, "It can get bad for you inside and outside. Keep pretending." Roach clapped back, accusing Davis of tweeting and deleting like a clown, and saying he was done messing around. Adding to the tension was a $250,000 bet from their first fight at Barclays Center. Davis bet Roach he'd knock him out. Roach said $250K. Davis agreed, but the fight ended in a majority draw. Roach later brought it up on the All the Smoke Fight podcast, claiming Davis still hasn't paid. When asked if Tank paid up, Roach laughed. He changed his number. With the rematch closing in, fans are not just focused on the fight, but also on whether Davis will settle the bet. The rivalry is still burning, and it's only going to get hotter leading up to the big night.
What is he in for this Saturday night?
A rude awakening. A rude awakening for sure. He just doing what he have to do, trying to psych himself out for the fight and things like that. But come March the 1st, it's all about skill versus skill, and who had the better skill that night is going to be the victorious person.
Davis, the current WBA lightweight world champion, is just 2 months away from stepping back into the ring for a much-anticipated rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. set for August 16th. This could be the toughest challenge Davis has ever faced. The New York State Athletic Commission is still looking into what happened in their first fight, and so far, they haven't made any...
I feel like you got a certain confidence about this fight that I've interviewed a few different Tank opponents, and everybody gonna say like, yeah, you know, everybody say this, and that's what you're supposed to say, right? Like, I'm going into a fight. I don't think people thinking they're gonna lose, but it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So why would it change here?
After a dramatic 114 to 114, 114 to 114, 115 to 113 majority, draw against WBA super featherweight champ Lamont Roach, questions are now being raised about Davis's place on the pound-for-pound rankings. According to CompuBox stats, Roach threw 400 punches to Davis's 279. Roach landed 112, while Davis connected with 103, so Roach was busier, but...
As far as I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight, and Shakur said to me, like even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night, and I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
Do you think New York State overturns it?
No, I don't think they do. So,
although one judge had Davis winning, the other two didn't, which is why the result was a draw. Round 9 changed everything. After Roach, 29, landed some clean shots, Davis, who hails from Baltimore, dropped to one knee. By the rule book, that should have been a knockdown and scored 10-8 for Roach instead of 10-9. That could have changed the outcome. Davis later said, "I got my hair done 2 days before and the stylist used grease. Once I started sweating, it got in my eyes, that's why I dropped." He also mentioned being thrown off because there are no ring card girls, saying he didn't even know what round it was.
Oh, something funny. When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, We was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win. I said, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing work. It's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing work. I'm not like totally upset. I figured with a superstar,
if a fighter goes down and the ref starts counting, that's a knockdown, Roach said. If they had scored it right, I would have won. The New York State Athletic Commission told ESPN that a technical glitch stopped them from reviewing the video of that exact moment in time. That's all for now. For more boxing news, fight recaps, and top updates, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Catch you next time.